Hey, welcome to another edition of the Asian Spirit Love podcast. My name is Eric. This is my boy Alex.
Yes.
How you doing today?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
Oh, excellent. Thanks. Yeah, very good. You know, I'm glad to have you as a friend that I actually met not that long ago in the whole scheme of things, right? Which is our topic for today is, do people generally make friends, especially guys, make friends when they're adults, or are most of your friends from your younger years? Because the majority of my friends that I stayed in close contact with, I'd say, are probably from high school, college, and a little bit after.
Yeah.
But not too many that I met after my 30s. Like,
it's a lot harder.
Yeah, it is.
You think about our environments, right? Like, so our environments when you're younger condone friends, right? Like, if you're going to school, right? Like, even high school, like, every day you're learning how to socialize.
Yeah.
You're meeting people, you're developing deeper relationships with people, right? But when you become an adult, besides work, what do you have? And even at work, you don't get along with all your coworkers.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
And then you're there to work, and it's kind of like you don't mingle afterwards. Afterwards, you just go home to your family, your kids, whomever.
Yeah.
And unlike in Asia or wherever where people drink and socialize after work, here people just hop in their cars, drive home, and that's it. Work, they shut it out and don't even think about work.
I think that also plays a factor, because I think where you're from also plays a factor in terms of how hard it is to make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
Because I know in Thailand, for example, eating out is probably about a similar price to as eating in.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it's really inexpensive to eat out. It's also really expensive to eat in. But in
Like
America,
those
if
night
you eat
markets,
out,
right?
oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
yeah.
I had one friend. I'm like, dude. So I like food. I'm 6'2" for a reason. But like, when we eat out, like we went for like this really fancy tapas restaurant. I like tapas.
Uh-huh.
But he went to like this really fancy one in this bougie area, and it was like $100 per person. And actually ended up to be more than $100 per person because they ordered a lot of drinks.
Yeah,
well.
that's where they get you. The drinks,
And then I was like, and there was like nothing. It was like these little small plates, and like I'm used to small plates for like dim sum, but at least you could get like hella dim sum for like $25.
You could fill up for $20.
Yeah, but then like he ordered like just a few plates of food. I'm like, I'm still hungry. Like, I still want a burger after this.
Yeah.
And it was like literally $100 or more per person, and I had a salad. I was like, I'm not even gonna because why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I can't eat. Also, like, I'm vegan. Not saying you have to be vegan, but like, I am, right? So like, they ordered like squid. They ordered like paella, like oxtail, all that sort of stuff, which is great. But like, I can't eat any of that stuff, and I'm not gonna split the bill on that shit when I don't even eat it, right? So it was really crazy. But like, before I even mentioned anything, like they want us to, they're like, "Hey, time to split the bill now." And I'm like, I ordered a salad and free bread, and water. I'm not paying for this shit.
Yeah.
But like, that's socially, I feel like it's so much more expensive as an adult than when I was younger.
Yeah. I hate doing that too. Like I don't drink myself, so sometimes I would go out with the group and they would say, "Hey, let's split the bill," but then I'm like, "Hey, I didn't drink."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be a wuss about it. Like, if they really want to split the bill, I'm not gonna be a cheapskate. Hey, man, I didn't drink. Because typically, I do try to eat a little bit more, knowing that might be the case afterwards.
See, at least balance it out.
Yeah, but a lot of times, friends who are more polite, they would say, "Hey, you know what? Eric didn't drink anything. We'll cut him out of the alcohol."
I'd be like, "Listen, Eric didn't buy not one drink.
Yeah,
y'all better not put him in the same bill as all you guys." Like, I look out for my friends like that, because like, I know I'm not cheap, but I'm fair.
Yeah,
and I would never want someone like you, especially if it's like a drink, because a lot of times drinks are more than a meal. So for me to be like, okay, well, what's
definitely, it depends on the
like your meal is like $10, but your drink is $20. Like, let's just be real about that.
That's one thing why maybe not the main reason, but one of the reasons why I never got into drinking is like, it's so expensive. Like, how could this extra empty calories drink cost more than your main meal where you get all your nutrients from, which is for survival? You're not going to survive off of drinking. So you're paying more money for something that's actually harming you than this thing you need for sustenance.
You're paying for artisanal drink.
Yeah.
You're paying for a hipster to make this beautiful drink that's artisanal and fair trade and fair use and free range.
Yeah, so it got the handlebar mustache, tattoos on the sleeve, with the
no shame on you guys, but just saying, like that's what you're paying for an experience.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm not gonna lie, I think it's so much more expensive as an adult than when I was younger. Like if I were in high school, I'd be like, let's go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Taco Bell. I think the most expensive place was Cheesecake Factory. And Cheesecake Factory was when you went to prom. Like that was when you're losing your virginity and you're losing your virginity.
You better lose it. You take them to cheesecake.
Yo, I treat you to like a $5 cheesecake and a $10 meal. Come on, I'm just kidding though. But again, like that doesn't condone anything, right? But at the same time, like I feel like Cheesecake Factory was like the place where you went to if you wanted to like impress your teenage partner.
Well, even for like family birthday parties, like that was considered like one of the pinnacle.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we just went to like Sizzler and Red Robin, places like that. That not super fancy, but those are good for kids to go to have a birthday party. Like I remember my parents would take me. Like Red Robin, that was like nice for me as a kid. That was a fun place to go. Right?
I'm not. So they have the Impossible Burgers there. I think it's already Impossible Veggie Burgers there, but they have it on the Robin patties, and I really like that.
Okay,
yeah. Because I'm Asian, so I want the whole entire Asian experience.
Yeah.
It's so cool, but I think that our taste buds. This is so much like you guys want to have truffles tonight. I'm like, no, I don't want fucking truffles tonight. Like I ain't rich like that. You know what I'm saying? Dinosaur eggs, truffles, gold flakes everywhere. Like no, thank you. But yeah, no, I think it's more expensive as an adult to go out. And like, if you want to save money, you can't go out as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
We also have more money. We have more money too. So I get that, makes you want to, you're able to spend a little more.
Some of us. Not always.
Yeah. But see, more money, like the great.
More prom. Everybody say more proms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like,
Biggie.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. The rest in peace, Mr. Christopher Wallace, the great poet. But yeah, so. It is true. Like of course, people will say only broke people would say that, but I think a lot of rich people would admit too that having more money, you do have more problems because you have more responsibilities.
There's more expectations.
Yeah, and then you probably have mortgages to pay, and people always hitting you up for money, and then you also, if you're the rich one in the group, people expect you to be the one to pay or take the bill. A lot of times, so
I don't know. My rich friends are the cheapest ones. I'm sorry, they're the cheapest. They don't even offer you water when you get to your house. I'm not. I had one friend. I don't care. I don't care about this. Yeah, he was making over $300K a year.
Wow.
And he would not offer you filtered water. He would offer you. He'd be like, "You want some sink water?" I'm like, and I was so annoyed because we had moved a couch for him to his apartment, right? And then we
shouldn't
moved
he
the couch,
be living in a mansion if he's making that much money?
I don't know, but we just did all this stuff for him, and he didn't offer us pizza or real water. Like that just shows you how cheap they are. So I definitely think it depends, but yeah, no, definitely some of the richest people in my life were some of the cheapest. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, then again, that's how they got rich, right? Like the Warren Buffett method. How you don't drive a fancy car, you don't waste money on frivolous things. Like get the bare minimum, enjoy your life, and that's enough. Like you buy a $30,000 car or a $100,000 car, the difference is actually quite minimal. Like you can get everything you need for 30, 40K. Anything over on top of that is just excess. It's just being extra.
I feel like it's me with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? That's what people want. They want me with the Joneses. I feel like also pressure to me with the Joneses is a lot more too as you get older. When I was younger, you didn't have to do as much to impress people. When you get older, you have to do so much more to impress people.
Yeah, when you're young, you just take your shirt off and flex, and the girls be all over you, right?
Yes, that's right. But you're also, you're kind of a fuckboy. But
but that what? When you're young, that's all you care about.
Yeah, I don't. But you don't want those differences. I think that also, when I got older, to be honest, I started to deal with way less bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think when I was younger, I had a lot more friends. I remember when I was younger, for my birthday, they used to rent out restaurants because I had so many friends I had. They're like, we need to all have all these tables, basically bare for Alex because his birthday. He's gonna have 30 people here.
Wow, and it's so popular here.
It was it was flex, super flex, right?
Yeah.
Especially being Asian. I'm sorry, especially us being Asian people. Asian people love to look like we own our country. Like we just want, like, if you looked at, remember back in the day where you open your wallet, like pictures like start scrolling down.
Oh
like
yeah.
What was that called?
The accordion wallet, or
Yeah, it was so
you
weird.
Like when all the credit cards.
Now it's on your phone, but like
Yeah, yeah.
before, we actually had to open. This is how old we are. We had to open our wallets, and then pictures actually start rolling down.
Yeah.
And we collect them, and that was a big thing. But we wanted to have like 20 or 30 best friends. Like that's what we wanted when we were younger. And I didn't realize like how many fake friends I had until like I started getting older, you know. And that's what I'm saying. I literally went to a restaurant. We'd rent the whole entire restaurant out, and then we'd have all these people there, but like none of them are here today. Like none of them are here today, you know?
Yeah.
And that was really interesting to me because I started to realize, you know, even though I have a lot of friends, none of them are like my good friends.
Yeah. Well, they're like party friends. Where
Yeah.
they're there to celebrate, drink, and eat with you. But if your life was on the line,
Yeah.
you know, they're not going to be there for you. But then again, see, the way I see it, you can't
Yeah.
blame them for that because you can't expect to have that many people actually care for you. So you have your parents, your siblings, right? And then, so no, seriously, I'm not. You know, seriously, I mean, it is kind of.
Come on, man. They don't like you, bitch.
So okay, so of course you.
I can't believe you thought that was real. Those 20 people, those all fakers right there.
But they're there for the occasion. They're there to party with you. That's what they're. Of course, they overlap, right? So not everyone there is a fake friend. Obviously, your good friends are there. Your real friends.
No, they're not. Shit, I didn't even cast until after that shit.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, none of those bitches are here anymore. And I'm telling you, like, I think a lot of people they think this, like, oh, I have all my high school friends still. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. Like, you have a lot of acquaintances, but you don't have a lot of friends. I'll tell you what, I would trade all 20 of them at that time for one Eric, my good friend. So
Same to you.
yeah, man. Because I mean, like, that's the thing. I think me and Cash talked about this earlier too, as well, and a lot of my other friends as well. Is that like, you know, the thing is that like you're there to party with them, to go out with them, and I feel like that's why it's so good to categorize your friends, right?
Yeah.
Because like this is my best friend, this is my brother, especially. Oh my gosh, like being Asian or like API, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with our cultures, like especially with my Filipino friends, they'll be like, "Oh, my kuya," and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
bitch, you just met this person today, less than 2 minutes ago on a street. This is not your kuya. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a fuck. And it's just like, that's how our cultures are a lot of times, you know? We just instantaneously, like, you are my family. And I'm like, yo, if your car breaks down, if you get sick, they're going to be like, bye, bitch. They're not even care. They won't even answer your phone call or even answer your text.
Yeah.
So, like, I realized that as I got older, like, you know, when things start happening as an adult, right? Adult things, you know, when you need to have your friends, you know, like if you can't pay rent, like you just need like a few, like even $20, they'll like loan you $20 to help you pay your rent. If your car breaks down, you know, then like they'll come save you if your car breaks down. If you're in the hospital, they'll come to the hospital. But I know so many, like I knew this one person who was really popular, you know, and he went to the hospital because he got into a car accident.
Oh no.
This guy was so popular, so freaking popular. Another fucking Asian person, you know. He was so
From
popular.
high school?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was like high school and then the clubbing scene,
Oh, okay.
especially the gay clubbing scene, because like he just had a lot of friends. He always had pictures of a lot of people because he was really good looking. And then guess what? We went to the hospital. None of those bitches showed up.
Yeah.
Like, not one person, you know. And you came from like looking like you have 40 best friends to like 0 even acquaintances.
Yeah.
That's how, like, the nurse was barely your friend. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. That just goes. It shows you, like, in times of need, times of desperation. That's how you find out who your true friends are.
Oh, I know.
And the thing is, we actually don't want to find out because we don't want to go through that traumatic experience where we would filter them out. So it's actually a good thing when you have all these friends and you don't know who's fake because
In willful ignorance. That's
because if we do find out who's fake, that means we had to go through a traumatic experience and just to see who would be there for us.
You have to go through fucking life.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you're an adult now. Like, if your car is going to break down one time or another.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, right? You're going to go to the hospital one time or another. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, it doesn't have to be that traumatic to know who your real friends are.
Yeah.
And I feel like, even though I feel like it is hard, it's good because I want to have true friends now. I don't want to have fake friends anymore.
Yeah.
I'm too old. Like, and I just feel like it's just like I'm just too. Like, I don't want to deal with the bullshit anymore. Like, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with the bullshit. So I'm definitely not about like having no friends. Like, I definitely want to say that because there's a lot of people who are like, it's so in to just be alone and just to love yourself and have the people around you, on TikTok. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's, first of all, like, I just feel like people like that are like super ignorant because like they'll be like, oh yeah, like the best thing, they'll say it like that way, the best thing that you can do in your life is to learn how to love yourself and not ever love people around you, and I'm like, no, that's stupid. Well, first of all, here's the thing. So also, I think it depends on like your area, which country you come from. Because when I was in Japan, I had made my best friend there in a very short period of time, like about a month. My friend Hiroki became my best friend, and he showed me in a month what my friends for years have not shown me in like years, right? Like he was like, I'm gonna take vacation to hang out with you. I'm gonna take a week off from work to hang out with you. We explored Japan. We went to Nara together. We had conversations, even though he spoke predominantly 99% Japanese. We used Google, what is it called? Google Language or whatever.
Translate.
Google Translate. Yeah. We translate everything. We had like 3-hour long conversations every day. It was like, and it just was fun because it was an opportunity for me to get to know him. He got to know me, and we became best friends from that. Most friends they only put in like 10% of the effort. So I really valued that, and like that's why I say like it's important to have friends around you, but the right friends.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also kind of the fast culture nowadays, similar to what we were saying about the dating, where if
that's true.
we don't put time to invest in a single person because the next one is just another click away, another swipe away. So if this person, we don't vibe instantly, then all right, next on to the next. So it's just like instant satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like people want just. What do they call that? That when they want something,
they want all the fights in Matrix. Only.
Yeah,
they don't want any of the dialogue. Just fight, just do it right now. Forget about everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, I had allergies really bad last night, so let me know if my throat's getting really bad, and I'll drink some more tea.
It's always good to drink more tea anyway.
Yeah, I just love tea.
Yeah, but back to the point about you're saying being by yourself. There is a balance though, because. It is good that you're able to do things by yourself, like go to the movies, go to the restaurant. Some people have an aversion to that. They're like, oh no, I can't go to the movies by myself.
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I have a problem with that.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't like going to the movies alone.
Aww.
I feel like that puppy that got thrown in the street that's like all alone now.
See, I've never mind. I always went to the movie by myself because A, you don't talk at the theater anyway, so does it matter if you're with somebody? And then B, I go whenever I feel like it. Hey, I want to go watch a movie. I'm not going to call up my friend. Hey, are you free right now to go to the movie? No, I'm
call me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'll call you next time. But I always just went by myself because you know what? I just on a whim felt.
I commend that, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't do that. And I feel like that's good that we have two different opinions on that. Not saying I'm against it, but I'm saying that like obviously you can do that, and I probably can, but I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel uncomfortable or awkward? People
hell yeah,
staring at you or.
I mean, and a lot of times they're not staring at you.
They're not.
That's the reality. Like, they're not staring at you.
No, they don't care. Nobody cares.
Except for gay people. They super judge. I'm gay, so I can say that. But like, I remember I went to a club one time on my own. I met people there, but I went on my own there, and they're like, "Hey, how'd you get here?" I was like, "Oh, I drove here." They're like, "Who'd you go with?" I was like, "On my own." They're like, "That's sad."
What?
Yeah, I still remember you. I forgot his name. He's like this Cambodian gay guy. Obviously, I forgot his name, but like he was the one who was like that sad, and like I think coming from my community, we're super mean sometimes and like super judgy.
What do you think it's sad? Because you know how how people talk about introverts and extroverts, right? Yeah. So like people erroneously think that introverts are shy, extroverts are sociable, but that's actually not the case.
That's true.
Right. It simply means the extrovert is somebody who likes to be around others, and they draw energy from that. So someone like me, actually, I'm kind of a shy extrovert. Yeah. It sounds like a contradiction, but it's actually not. So I like to go places and be around people, like go to the cafe to do work, go to the club and just hang out.
Oh my gosh, I can't do that at all. And that already sounds so scary to me. Like I'm already so uncomfortable just thinking about what you do. Like I'm like just thinking about myself at a club, and I'm like just by myself, like, oh
yeah. See, I'm not even there. Like, of course, I'm there to check out the scene and perhaps talk to some people. But if I don't, I'm fine. I'm not there, with my boys just going to hit on women and just going crazy. I'm just there, hang out. I like the vibe, the music, and all this, and that is where I draw my energy and my it makes me happy. So an introvert is somebody.
That's interesting. That's cool. Oh my god, that's so fear. I'm the total opposite. Like I get so fearful of that.
Do you really? Like,
that sounds so like that just sounds so scary to me. Like when you said that, I was like, I want to drive home, and I'm not even there.
Well, you know what? I was kind of like that before. I had social anxiety, but I trained myself. You know what? I'm going to these places by myself. I don't care who looks at me, who laughs at me, which no one is laughing at me. Like it's all in our head. Like we would hear somebody laughing in the background.
I laugh with you, but I don't laugh at you.
You think they're laughing at us, but they're actually just doing their own thing. They don't care. Nobody has the energy to point out and laugh. It's not high school anymore that they're going to point out the nerd and pick on him. No,
well, I mean, I definitely look up to you for that one, but I can never do it. And I think that's also a thing is that we're all kind of different when it comes to that situation. Mm-hmm. Some of us are more introverted, some of us are more extroverted.
Yeah.
But I also agree that there's different types of introverts and there's different types of extroverts.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, I've said this before many times that I have clinical diagnosis for PTSD. Right. And one of my friends has a very similar condition. But the thing is that like, it's always been kind of a struggle to seek out support because within mental health issues, depression, anxiety, whatever, a lot of times you talk to your friends about it and they'll be like, yeah, whatever, they don't really care.
Yeah.
Especially guy friends.
You're like, man up.
Yeah, they'll be like, okay, whatever. Which is, I think, a hard part about men making friends as adults as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think it's already hard for men in general to make friends. And then you, like, add adult men.
Yeah.
Then it's like even harder. But like one of my friends who has also a mental health issue, right? So around PTSD. So he actually is like he's overwhelmed with people trying to help him. And I'm like in a position where I'm like completely opposite. Because this is before I knew you. Mm. So like I didn't have anyone that was like, hey, how are you doing? Checking in with me. I didn't have anyone if I said I'm having an anxiety attack today or I'm having issues with my PTSD, they'd be like, okay, just hang up the phone. It was very intense.
Yeah.
And I feel like people have to understand that like everyone's different, but at the same time, some people get more support than others. And some people don't realize that some people get more support. Like he gets like his family, his friends will call him on a daily and be like, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? This and that, which is lovely. I wish all people had that. There's nothing wrong with that. But then he'd be like, oh, like I actually don't like our support I get. Like it's kind of annoying how people always ask me how I'm doing.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, he's like, it's just, he's not even a little bit. He's just, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Smothering.
You don't like it because you always get it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, if you never got it, you'd want it. That's the situation.
Well, just think about how, like, if your mom, when you're younger, every day asks you, like bugging you all the time, then it's kind of like that, where you get annoyed. And like there's a balance, right? Of course, you want people to check up on you, see how you're doing, but not every single day, right? There's a point where it's too much. So, yeah, there's a fine line, I think, but
I mean that's the point where like he actually gaslighted me, without knowing it, and I'm not blaming him for it, right?
Yeah.
But he was just like, "Oh, really? I would love to have your situation."
Yeah.
Where like no one called me and was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and stuff like that. I'm like, really? Like, because. Like, I deal with that, and, like, you deal with the complete opposite. I would love to have what you have.
Yeah, it's just balance. Somewhere in between would be perfect. That'd be ideal.
But I'm also, like, when I tell those people, like, I also wonder, like, how often you check in with your friends? Because what I understood from him is that he never called his friends and said, hey, how are things going?
It's one-sided.
It's very one-sided. I see a lot of people like that, too, as well. I feel like friendships don't survive when any relationship, either friendship or relationship, is one-sided. And I feel like that's also a problem nowadays.
I think that's like a lot of relationships are like that. Like if you see one side or the other caring more than the other, and then that's what leads to problems down the road because it's like a one-way street. Yeah, so it's like say the wife really loves the husband, but he's like whatever, and just doing his own thing. Bitch. Yeah, so eventually.
Why'd I marry you? watch too
I
much
think
HBO Max.
it's not until afterwards that people realize the ills of their ways. Like that song "Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I think we've definitely all been through it, but I just think that we have to learn how to cherish other people, also cherish ourselves more.
Yeah.
You know, because I see, again, in friendships, I see so many one-sided friendships, and that's why I try to make sure that we're equally supporting each other, especially as men. Okay, now I think between women and men, as adults, friendships is difficult, right? But I think especially with men, because we get a lot of our communication skills from meeting women, a lot of our social skills from women, right? Because we start seeing how women socialize, and we were codependent on our girlfriends or friends that are girls to help socialize us. Like dogs.
yeah. So I think it is difficult, like because there's the stigma attached. Like, say, I just talked to this a nice lady at my office. People might think I'm trying to hit on her, or even if I make a nice compliment, people might think it's harassment.
The threatening factor is also much higher if you're a man. I'm not gonna lie about that one. You're right.
Yeah. So even if I had no ill intentions, I'm just being a friendly guy, just trying to make friends. Let's say I'm into rock climbing, and I meet Rachel at work, who's also into rock climbing. Say, hey, Rachel, want to go rock climbing this weekend? It's just very friendly. I'm not hitting on her. It's not a date. I'm just saying because a fellow rock climbing buddy wants to go, so I'll ask her. But then maybe she might think that that I'm asking her on a date. Other people outside would see that it looks like a date. So because of that, she might be hesitant, even though she likes me as a friend. Or even if she did like me as more than a friend, like she might not want to do it.
It is a lot easier to introduce, be introduced by women as opposed to just yourself a lot of times.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying which is right. It's like the preconceptions about who a man is. You're totally right about that one.
Yeah, so just say I asked Bob, who's a rock climbing guy, hey Bob, let's go rock climbing. Sure, man, let's go. Right? No hesitation whatsoever.
You'd have to be really awkward for him to be like weirded out. Like, hey Bob, I just want to say that I was watching you earlier, and the way that you wear those shorts while climbing
when I looked
those
up
rocks
on the rock,
I
saw your butt.
Your butt looks amazing. I just want to say we should hang out, man. I just totally, I want to have those glutes, those rock hard glutes. Then they'd be like, oh, maybe that's more than just a friendship hangout. Clearly, you want to do more about. But no, I think that it is. You're right, and I feel like no one talks about that. I think when you're asking to hang out with the opposite sex, people can perceive it the wrong way.
Yes, yeah.
So I totally agree. It's a lot easier for another woman to introduce you.
Yeah.
I think that makes so much sense. I didn't think about that before.
Yeah, because it's happened to me many times. So I've gone out with friends like I considered them to be friends, and I told them straight up, right? Not that there was no interest or that there could be potential interest, but now we're just friends, or just keep it that way, just to make things not awkward. Yeah. And we hung out. I
would like to get to know you, Miss, platonically. I have no interest in your buttocks or your breasts. You might as well be just a flat-chested, no booty boy, which I am not interested in.
Pubescent boy.
I'm definitely or you might as well be a non-sexual rock. I don't want to have any intercourse with you. We want to hang out.
But you know what? That might actually help, because if guys think, if girls think the guy's is kind of sleazy and he's saying he doesn't have any interest sexually in her, then that would be a good thing, right? Because she wouldn't want him.
Yeah, but I don't think that women would want to be friends if anyone's like, hey, I love how I'm totally not sexually attracted to you at all.
Of course, you don't say that out loud, because that would be kind of like you say the opposite. What they call it, negative.
She's like, are you imagining me with my clothes off? He's like, no, I'm imagining you with so much clothes on. Like, so much. Like, you're like basically in the North Pole right now. Like, that's how much clothes you're wearing.
So that's why, like, these days, like, don't they say, like, of course, you can't judge women on how they dress. Like, if they dress provocatively, it shouldn't mean they're suggesting anything. Yeah. But there is a thing where if they show up to meet you, or a guy, they're just all bundled up and not looking sexy at all, then they can think of it as, all right, just platonic, or maybe they're just covering it up because they don't want anything to happen. But if they show up, skimpy and all like skanky looking, once again, it's no invitation. So I'm not suggesting anything. So
I always show up to my dates,
especially nowadays. But
I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. You're like Borat, right? With that little
just the one the one piece.
Yeah.
I again, it doesn't condone
Of course,
invitations to anything.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that with situations like that, so I don't want to say this because I do know that when you're younger, especially when like I was in college, like having friends, either girls or guys, was really normal. You know, like to hang out with a girl as a friend was really normal in college. But for some reason, not for some reason, I know as an adult, it's weird because like we're supposed to be married, we're supposed to have it all together.
Yeah.
Like you're not really trying to make friends like you did in college.
Yeah.
When you're an adult, like you're just trying to either do, because there's a lot of fuck boys and fuck girls out there. So like you're doing hookups, you're doing all this other stuff, Tinder profiles and stuff like that. So I think it's a much different experience. But like when people are like, oh, can you have friends that are girls? I'm like, didn't we have that in college? If you went to college,
Yeah.
even if you went to community college, right? Like you still had that. I'm like, are the people saying this? Did they not go to college?
Well, I think college is kind of like where you, instead of learning academic things, you learn more about how to socialize and, prepare you for the real world.
What college did you go to?
No, you don't think it's like the academics I learned in college?
No, you did learn. I mean, even though I do feel like some people did not learn any EQ, emotional quotient in college, they were just, basically robots that think they're better than everyone. Like freaking what's that movie, Terminator? But I do think that if you are social in college, you can learn EQ.
Yeah.
And I definitely had friends. Like I think it was really normal for you to have friends either the same or opposite sex in college. Easy.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of my friends did. Like I remember one of my friends. She went to SF State, and I was invited to her dorm, and she had like the whole entire like building, like all the guys, all the girls conjured up in a community space and like hung out and talked, and it was really easy.
Yeah,
like that's a really normal thing,
Yeah. So you wouldn't do that in in your workplace, except maybe, like, remember how in the early days of startups where they had those people hanging out afterwards.
We brought up our mascot today.
Yes.
It was Lyric. What's up, Lyric? Wow. So I'm babysitting right now one of my coworkers' dogs. This is Lyric. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? So she will come on randomly
let's see what she has to
hang
say.
out.
What do you think of this topic?
She's like, I don't know, you superhuman. It's like, I'm a dog. So you guys got your own problems.
Oh yeah. So you're saying so in college.
It is a lot easier, but we're not in college anymore. We're adults.
Yeah, so the only thing similar would be like in startups. I had this a little bit too when I worked at startups where it was basically like a frat house. So afterwards we would play ping pong and hop in the pool, do all these things together. So that's kind of similar.
Nothing like hitting balls and going to the pool.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing leads to another.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that was kind of similar to college, and we would kind of joke that it's like a frat house. But when you work at a more like a real job,
there's
like
more communal space when you're younger.
Yeah,
either in high school or college or university, you can have situations where you can go to like parties and get-togethers a lot easier than you do as an adult.
Yeah, but when the older you get, like say at age 30, say that's the cutoff. At age 30, maybe half of your friends are married already, and the rest who are single.
Especially if you're Asian.
Yeah,
you're right. But yeah, a lot of cultures, especially if you're Asian. Oh my gosh. I have this one friend. I'm not gonna name her name, even though I want to. But like, she was telling me, she's like, I had a baby, and more power to her, right? But she was like, she's like, I have a baby, and like, no lies, but I appreciate her honesty. She's like, I'm gonna be a complete asshole.
Yeah.
She's like, I just want you to know, like, I don't want to hang out with any of my friends. This baby is taking up so much fucking time in my life. She's like, I don't even have time for myself, let alone have time for friends.
Yeah.
So I won't be talking to my friends for like 5 to 6 years, and I don't give a fuck. Like, I remember her telling me this, and I was like, well, at least she is honest. But I'm like, as an adult, like, that kind of pressure, like, that's kind of like what's the norm nowadays. And like, I mean, like, I'm not a woman, okay? But if I were a woman, I kind of like am sad to think that like all my social aspects would go down the hill once I become a adult woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a lot of responsibility. Like, I mean, obviously it is,
Yeah.
but I think some people handle it better than others. Like I know some people just, not
She
that
should also
they're.
have her husband do something like, "Hey, husband, do something, bitch."
Yeah,
Why is he? Because he's social,
Mm-hmm.
and she used to be social, but she's not, and he is. So I'm like, well, maybe you should have him take turns.
yeah. Because some people they just still live their lives. Like they still
Yeah.
go hang out, but it doesn't make them bad moms. They take care of the kids, but they still do their own stuff.
Well, I think a
Wow.
balance is so important.
Yeah.
I always advocate for that, especially a healthy relationship with anyone. To be there for your kids, to be there for your husband, your wife. That's so important. But also just be there for yourself sometimes too.
Yeah. Sometimes they need to take like a time out for their own mental health
Yeah.
because they always.
Because if mom's crazy, the kids will be crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Or dad's crazy. Either or.
yeah, that's true. It goes both ways. Yeah, but I know a lot who, when we as just say they're friends. Just-
Sorry, I was just thinking about because like if they, I think also a factor of like I see so many parents where like their kids grew up into like teens, and they're like their kids ask them like, oh, what was your life when you were younger? Well, I had you, and then my life ended. I had no friends
for 18 years, and after that.
Yeah, then I finally have a social life now. I'm like this old man or old woman.
Yeah.
Like, I regret you
Well,
so
if
much.
they have them when they're young, say they had them when like 18 or 19, they'll still be young when the kids turn 18, so they'll be like 40. They still can.
Oh, yeah, like the TikTok ones are like, oh my gosh, he could be my brother. Like,
Yeah, that at least I see that one floating around.
I don't know.
And then people are like, which one is the brother, which one's the dad?
I know. I mean,
Or
there's
I know
nothing
which
wrong
one's the
with
son,
there's
which one's the
nothing-
dad, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I think the only thing that's annoying is like when they're like on TikTok, they're like, oh my gosh, guess who's older? And I'm like, oh, great.
Well, the funny thing is, you don't even know if it's true or not. They actually could be just two brothers pretending to be father and son. Like, you don't actually know who they are. It's just a meme floating around. So it could all be fake. They could, not even be related. They just kind of look alike, right? So
Yeah, people do that.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's true.
you don't know what you believe.
Very
Especially-
ancestral, though. Like, very ancestral.
No, I mean you could have people that look, or even like cousins or.
What if they're doing thirst traps together with the shirts off in boxers with the dad and son, which is also on TikTok? I mean, is that not? I mean, okay, like if you're into it, if that's what you do, fine. I'm not gonna shame you or anything like that, but I'm just saying, that happens.
No, but see, it's only nowadays that you see men doing that. It's always been women that showed like mother and daughter looking alike. There's even shows on like TLC that I come across where a mother is out partying with the daughter, and she
So weird.
acts.
That happened
like,
to Drew Barrymore.
Oh,
Actually, and then
yeah,
she
yeah.
turned out. She was like, I hated that. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest.
Mm.
Like I don't know enough information. I'm not gonna shame it, but I mean, according to Drew Barrymore, it was a horrible experience. The one I'm talking about, I want you to know how intense this is. Like the father and the son are both in thongs, pouring buckets of water over themselves. Like that's why I say it's.
Can you tell who's the father and son, or do they really look alike?
Well, they're just like two hot guys, right? So I'm like, oh, cool. And then they're like, guess what? I'm the dad, a real dad. This is my son. Son, come over here. Water. Blah. And I'm like,
yeah, that's kind of.
I'm not into it anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty incestual then to be.
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean,
doing
OnlyFans, everybody
sexually-
just does things like that. I mean, again,
Yeah.
not shaming you guys. You guys do what you do. That's their today's cultures.
Yeah, I guess like I was saying, like I think recently guys started doing that, but always women. Like
I mean,
we've seen-
I don't know. People,
Yeah.
I mean, women are now selling their farts in jars. I don't know.
Does
what's
it even
going on.
last? Like how long would it? Like,
I've never bought a fart. in a jar. I wouldn't know. But they were able to buy new houses from it. So
wow,
I mean, I think it's like over $1,000 per jar sometimes.
that just shows how desperate these guys are buying that. Like who? The
I was
heck-
like, we fart for free.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you just give it away like hundreds of times a day. It's shoot,
Yeah.
I should be selling this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to sell my farts. I don't care.
Even for $1, I'll give you guys a discount, $1. How about that?
That's sad. I don't want to go to a dollar store and be like, Eric's farts. Just
Well,
all
at
these
least-
jars. They're only $1.
At least have it at Daiso, not the dollar store.
Like I don't
Five
even
Below.
know. Like I would only buy it if I had like a infestation of like raccoons or something like that. Just throw like a fart jar.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think people actually open it. They just keep it as a souvenir, and that's how.
You don't want to know what I don't want to know what they do with it. Trust me, they do things with those fart jars.
Because it loses value. It's just like anything. Like you buy some shoes, once you wear them, they lose value, or any collector's item. Once you open the box, it loses value. So
you're going too deep with the fart jar. Like it's just too deep. It's just too much.
I know.
I love you, but like the fart jar's got to stop.
Yeah.
So we talked about that aspect. Like, yes, it is a lot easier to make friends when you're younger. But also, I think it's a lot hard to differentiate your friends because your maturity is not all the way there yet.
Yeah.
So when you're making friends when you're younger, you're having a lot more friends because you're willing to accept more fake friends than before.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. You're willing to accept more fake friends than you do when you're older.
Yeah, I think the friends you make as adults are better friends. So these are friends who don't want to deal with BS anymore. You know, they got other things in their lives to take care of. Family, kids, dogs. So they don't have time to waste on, frivolousness. And,
I feel
nonsense.
like I'm also like way too straightforward as an adult than I was a kid.
Yeah,
and I also like I'm just very like if before when I was younger, which a lot of people are like that when they're younger. Like, why don't you like me? Like it's very much that thought process. Like why don't you like me? What can I do to make you like me?
Yeah,
and I'm like exactly like that. Me. And then when you get older, you're like, oh, you don't like me? Fuck you.
Yeah,
like you don't. Bitch, you know how amazing I am. If you don't like me, fuck you then. Like I don't care like I did before. I mean, like, what can I buy you some McDonald's? You just do everything you can to like make them like you. But nowadays, I don't care. And also, just I feel like if someone's being,
if you bought them cheesecake, that would go farther than McDonald's.
We're getting on there. I'm just kidding. No, we wouldn't. But like, I think that also you're a lot more outspoken as an adult too. So I'm doing this to you real quick.
Also, there's more loneliness as an adult too, because of that reason why it is more difficult to meet people. So even, I know we lament on having fake friends, but sometimes that's actually still a good thing to have fake friends. Like say,
no, it's not.
You don't think so? So for example, you're talking about not wanting to.
I'm gonna call everyone your. If you have fake friends here, I'm gonna call everyone like you a fake friend, aren't you?
Well,
I am really bad at fake friends.
I think if you categorize them as that, don't think of them as anything more. They're just a clubbing buddy. They're just.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. More of acquaintances.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So like earlier you mentioned you can't go to the movies by yourself. So I call up a friend. Like he's not a close friend. I'm not.
No, I wouldn't call up a fake friend to go to the movies with. See, that's the thing. Even though I don't want to be alone at the movies, I would never call up a fake friend. I want a real friend.
So would you rather go by yourself or with a fake friend?
Hell fucking yeah. I wouldn't want to go at all. But I definitely would rather go by myself than with a fake friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I would call up you if you said no. I'm gonna be like, oh, we call up all these fake friends. Like I wouldn't do it at all. Like I'm just not good at that.
Yeah, so you know how some people just want to be out in public with somebody, like just to go clubbing. Like you say, you don't want to go to the club by yourself. I
don't know. Like, I have to have a relationship with people. Personally, for me, again, we're all different, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, as I said before, like I need to have some type of relationship because I would want to go out like for food afterward, or like maybe like go around town, see the sights and stuff like that. So I wouldn't want someone who I don't even like, like if you have fake friends, you gotta point out which ones they are.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not gonna say anything, but like in my head, I'll be like, you're that fake ass bitch that Eric's like, I'll be like, you're the fake friend.
Well, I think it's important to categorize them. So we shouldn't even use the word fake friends because that implies that they're there for you when they're actually not. But if you know that they are
fake friends are real. Fake friends are like Mean Girls. Like you like the Regina Georges. Like you have to realize when you're having fake friends. Like there's a lot of people who have fake friends nowadays. Like especially if women, how they like get so women and gay men. Yeah, I'm talking about you guys too as well. But like when they're like, "Oh, Eric, I love your shirt. That's so nice on you." His shirt is so fucking ugly. Like anyone that does that kind of shit.
Oh yes, I wouldn't even associate with anyone like that.
But people do though. That's a fake friend.
Yeah, so more what I'm thinking of is just acquaintances to do certain activities with, but they're not really close friends. They're just activity buddies, more or less.
Basically just.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a purpose in your life, right? Everyone you meet is for a reason.
Every basic bitch has a purpose in your life.
So
go get some pumpkin lattes together.
maybe I have a friend who likes river rafting, and I don't know anyone else who likes river rafting.
I want to go river rafting.
Yeah.
You should invite me to do that.
Oh, yeah, let's go sometime.
Yeah. Is there a way that we don't die, though? Because a lot of people, I think I watch too many movies where they die.
Yeah, like, what's that movie, Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, and they, like, just get lost in the forest.
Yeah, that classic. Yeah, and these, like...
Okay, like, maybe I'm not the best friend to go skydiving with and stuff like that. I just watch too much World Star. And, like, it's always, like, this, like, the most extreme circumstances. Like, so they go skydiving, right? And then, like, I don't know why, but they drop this guy off to skydive, right? And he skydived into an alligator pond, and the alligators, like, jumped up and ate him alive. Wow. And, like, tore him apart. There's, like, blood splashing.
So he survived the skydive, but then...
He didn't survive at all. No, he
the skydiving didn't kill him, but landing in the alligator
And I was like, why would you land anywhere near an alligator pond?
Yeah.
It just freaked me out. And then it just tore him apart, limb from limb.
There was a video of that, or
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, probably not YouTube anymore, but it's on World Star, probably something like that.
Oh, wow, okay.
But yeah, like that was really famous, and like I just feel like this is why I don't go skydiving because I mean, like it's fun.
Yeah, so it's not the skydiving itself that scares you.
Can we do things that incorporate living?
Yeah, because I've been listening to this blog or this guy named Mr. Baldwin recently. I don't know if you heard of him. He has like these kind of horror stories. They're actually real stories. He talks about people going camping and things go awry and like tragedy happens. There's random things that you wouldn't even think that is all that dangerous, and then things happen to them. But some of them are like people being stupid and not that anyone deserves to die, but it's kind of like the Darwin effect where you do something really stupid and you reap the consequences. I
mean, to be honest, like I feel like it's also weird to make friends now because there's so many prank channels out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I just kind of makes you like low key scared and also racist a little bit. Yeah. Because like I don't want to like sleep and like have someone put their dick in my mouth. Yeah. Like that's
or get
it
teabagged.
Sounds sexual. Yeah, teabagged or something like that. That's like a real thing. Unfortunately.
Well, I guess for you that'd be more appropriate than for like.
I mean, no, it wouldn't. Right? No.
So that'd be like a girl putting a boob in my face, right? If it was a guy who put his ween in your face.
No, I wouldn't want to either way. I mean, like he's not my boyfriend. Like a random penis in my mouth. No, thank you. Well, I would be more acceptable when I'm gay. Like, oh, now I just want all the dicks in my mouth. That sounds like.
Well, it's not as gross as it would be to a straight guy.
I don't know nowadays.
You don't think
straight guys do it way more than gay guys, to be honest.
That's true. Like those frat boys.
Yeah, frat boys love it way more than. Yeah. So there's something that you guys love. It's like, you're like, I'm not gay, but if you put your ball in my mouth, totally cool, man. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah. So this is one thing. So I'm not going to name the fraternity, but back when I was in college, they did this thing where it was part of the rush and the initiation. Yeah. So they would have a guy stand on the ceiling or a roof of a building, and then they would tie a rope with a cinder block or rock or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They would throw it down.
They would throw it.
Yeah. Throw it. So okay, it's tied to your thing in the jig. They don't. The guys don't realize the rope is way longer than the distance to the ground. So when they throw it, you're like bonk, it hits the ground.
It doesn't matter. Why would you do that?
Yeah, see that's why fraternities do stupid stuff like that. That I don't know.
This just makes me think that all men are just gay. Like who thinks this is like a good idea? Yeah. Bro, you know what I'm saying? I love women so much. The best thing I'm gonna do for you right now to prove how straight I am is to like grab your balls. Yeah. Just go ahead, tie some rope around it. And then it'll totally be no homo man. Yeah. And I'll be like, this is super homo. Like, why do straight men do more homo things than gay guys? It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like they're trying to prove how manly they are by doing really gay things.
I was like, this is extra gay. Like even gay, like I'm a gay guy, and like you guys do extra gay stuff that freaks me out. Like I'm just. Oh, by the way, on that situation, so let's talk about. I just learned this term that I didn't even know about. Right, so let's read that term right now. Let me see, where is it at? Let's see, podcast. All right, so it is the phenomenon which is I love it. Homohysteria.
Homohysteria.
Remember I sent you that one?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like, it's Gosh, I'm sorry. Homohysteria is when straight men are fearful of being around other men where they might be suspected of being gay. That's what you read too, right?
Yeah. Well, then that is the assumption that being gay is bad.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah, some of it's programming anyways. Even though it's a scientific term. I mean, like, I don't know anyone that's going to a therapist like, hey, I'm having a really hard time suffering from homohysteria. Sorry. They're going to come after me now. It's
well, I guess, like since we're kids, right, the most derogatory thing one man can say to another is that you're gay. Like, you fag.
Yeah, we've always used that.
So since we're kids, we're programmed to think that being gay...
It's supposed to mean happy, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The true root of the word is being happy, like deck the halls, gay apparel, whatever. It's in that song. Yeah, with our gay apparel. So I don't know, why. I mean, I felt, for this too, because when I was younger, I would just say it because that's what people think.
It's programmed.
It's programmed. Yeah. So I guess even as adults, it was still have that in our mind that being gay is the worst thing in the world. Like I can't be. I
can't be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're saying. You're like, I can't be happy. I don't want. I can't be straight and be happy. That's oxymoron. What a horrible thing.
Like, why are people so insecure about that anyway? Like, who cares?
Huh?
Like, why would? So, do other straight men judge others because they're hanging out with other guys that they think they're gay, or?
Yeah, which also in the article talks about the fact of like why it's even harder, which is horrible because especially as an adult, we need male companionship so much, not within sexual companionship, but just like another masculine energy around us,
Well, the ironic thing is, and you think of like the most manly things that people do, right? Like playing sports, team sports.
I just love chopping wood for no reason. Just every time Eric comes over, like I'm just in the backyard just chopping wood, building a cabin. Setting fire at things, even though I know it's a huge problem in California, with all the fires, because we're just homo hysteria. We have to set fires, even though we don't kill people, because we want to prove how straight we are.
Well, I was just saying, like, how in sports, how afterwards, like, they shower together in the locker room, they're slapping their asses during the game,
Yeah, it's a straight slap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you watch UFC, it's like they're in their tighty whities, barefoot, pretty much naked. That's like almost...
You're not straight unless you're almost naked.
Yeah. So,
with another man.
So the guys
the same sex all the time.
People are so homophobic and they're into UFC. It's kind of hypocritical, right?
UFC is so
like in the Bruno that movie, they kind of touched on that.
I really don't know. Like with wrestling and
wrestling,
I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I can show you so many wrestling videos where like guys have to grab not just their asses but their assholes.
Yeah.
And then like caress their balls accidentally. I feel like if I had a crush on someone, it would just be like me wrestling with them and be like, oh my gosh, I actually touched all these areas. But it's just part of the game.
Yeah, so the funny thing is as kids, we never even thought for a second that wrestling was gay. Like, we the kids would say
we're talking way too much about like the young friendship thing now. Like we have to get back to the older one because I just realized like we're talking about like we're doing like that old person thing. Like back in my day when I was young, I remember how easy it was to be a homosexual.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, kids.
Yeah.
No, the one thing I'll say, which I think would be a highlighting point, is that what I learned traveling is join this website called meetup.com. And I'm not sponsored. If you want to sponsor us, we need the money. So give it to us. Yes. But like meetup.com was a way we could actually go to different countries, even in the US, and find groups with similar interests as you, especially social groups, and meet friends either from your country or other countries. Now, I'm not going to lie, in California, in the Bay Area particularly, it's not as prominent as it is in Japan. Japan, I actually met my best friend there, Hiroki. But in America, it's dwindling down a little bit, but I'd still suggest it, okay? So you find an interest that you really like, you join that group, you can meet people similar to your interests and values. So I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
As an adult, if you want to make friends as an adult. So there are some outlets, but they're not as advertised as when you're younger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they do have like
I was
kind
on
of
the
activity
right now because like my voice is all weird, right?
No, it sounds fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds good. But yeah, do drink more tea.
Drink more tea.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can meet activity groups who are into same hobbies that you are. So if you want to play ping pong, you want to bowling, you know, pool, whatever, like you just find
There's even like a nudist group. Hey man, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
So you know, I think there's a nudist group. There's probably some cults there.
yeah.
I'm not sponsored, so I can say whatever I want to say. Boom.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good groups there. I'm not gonna lie. I did have a really good time when I went to Japan because I went alone. So like that was the main thing. Like I went alone, and I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna know anyone here, you know? Because originally the plan was I was gonna come with my friends, and my friends all pussied out. They're like, oh, I don't know anyone there, and you know, like what if they judge me and stuff like that? I'm like,
really? They say stuff like that?
I was like,
It's a
Americans judge
vacation.
all the time.
It's a vacation. Who cares?
Yeah. So then I was like, fuck it. I went on my own, but I started meeting people there, and it was amazing because again, when you meet people from an area that you're not used to, again, making new friends. Because a lot of times as you get older, the one thing you said was really rang true was a lot of times we want to hold on to the friends we knew from high school, college, everything like that. But we were like not like no new friends kind of situation like Drake. Even though Drake, you have hella new friends. Stop lying. Dude, too much tea in my throat.
Well, he also talks about fake friends too. So
Yeah, I was like, bitch, please. No, I fucking love Drake. I love Drake, but you're a liar.
Yeah.
Because start from the bottom. You're not start from the bottom. Boom. You know, you had a nice Jewish party and everything was great. And then also, when you had that song "No New Friends," you have a lot of new friends. You know, so boom.
well, you know, the only true friend any of us has, Ben Franklin. It's all about the dollar bill, y'all.
Recording. But yeah, no, I really encourage people to be more worldly and diversified in friendships because I feel like I have learned a lot from doing that. And also, friendships are more important in other countries. Like in Japan, especially in Osaka area, particularly, they really value new friendships as adults. So that's why I think it's different in every country. And I think that's really important for our mental health as adults to have friends because it makes us better parents, it makes us better uncles, aunties, and just human beings overall because it's good to have people that we care about. Because if you care for others, you can also care for yourself.
Yeah, and then it's also good to have like reassurance. Not that we need people to coddle us or give us words of affirmation, but it's also good to know that you are wanted, you are desirable, that people want to talk to you, they want to hang out with you. Because sometimes when you like I could only use me as an example. Like when I'm just moping alone, I do feel like nobody cares about me and nobody wants me. So, oh, thank you. But
I always text him like every single time on point. I'm like, I need brother time.
aw,
Not just a podcast, but like we have to have brother time. We have to hang out. Like it's so necessary for both our mental health, especially mine, because like we work like crazy as adults. Like no one ever talks about how crazy it is to be an adult. We got bills, you know. We have people constantly talking down to us, like especially like with younger people. Now I love all ages, right? But like so many times they're like, "Oh wow, like you're 39, you're so old."
yeah,
And I'm like, bitch. First of all, I look great at my age. You look horrible at your age. Like when you get older to my age, you're gonna look like 20 years over me. Like you look horrible. But I'm sassy and I'm a comeback person. So, but the thing is that it's really hard to be an adult. You know, so many pressures, so many complications, so many expectations. It's really, really difficult.
yeah,
There's not a lot of good examples, and also when you get older, like especially here in the States, it's like there's not much to look forward to as much because they're like, oh, you know, senior home, and then we're just gonna get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know in Asia, like if you get older, like you're supposed, like you still work.
Take care of,
you still work. You still, you know, like you get to take care of like your kids' kids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
There's more
the,
value.
the kids would bring in the parents as the grandparents to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a live-in babysitter, and at the same time the kids are taking care of the parents. So it works both ways.
Yeah, but I think just nowadays it's like we gotta send you to a home.
That's a totally American thing to do. I think even Asians in America mostly, like if the kids are relatively successful, then later on when they get older, their parents who are older now, 70, 80, they'll come in, live with them, and then have the grandkids there. They all live as one big happy family.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I think that's still common. It's kind of weird how, I mean, it's not weird, but for Asians to think that, kick our parents to a senior home and just let them, play bingo all day.
I wouldn't.
No, I
would never.
Yeah.
Because, that's free babysitting right there.
Yeah.
You know how expensive it is to send your kids to daycare and all this other stuff? I'm like, can you imagine if you had parents to, help you with that?
Yeah.
That would save you so much money. What is wrong with people?
Then they care for the kids naturally. It's not like, a babysitter, they're just doing their job. They don't actually care for the kids, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the grandparent would love.
Yeah, what's your babysitter's a serial killer? You don't know that shit. I keep on saying that every
Well,
time.
like that one.
This is the 5th time I've said that because literally we talked about dating
Yeah.
and talked about what if he's a serial killer or she's a serial killer. We talked about friendships. I'm like, what if he's a serial killer or she's a serial killer? I'm talking about babysitters. Now, yeah,
like that one
really
who
bad.
molested Cain Velasquez's son.
Oh my god.
And then he went.
I know.
after,
No. See, this is why I don't try this. Yeah, no. My parents definitely be babysitters.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Kids.
Yeah, it's perfect, and they wouldn't mind doing it either. And then at the same time, you can keep an eye on your older parents.
Yeah.
You can take care of them.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. So it's a generational thing. Where I think in Asian families, you kind of make a pact when you're in the family, then you always look after each other.
Exactly. All right, you guys. So we're ending up closing the podcast now. I just want to say, what are your guys' thoughts? As well as comment below and follow, subscribe to this page. Also, lastly, I just want to say, I feel like it's so important as adults that we do make friendships.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm not gonna lie, your mental health goes down a lot when you get older, and there's a lot of there's issues of stress and depression. We have to learn how to communicate with each other and build connections.
Yeah. Well,
so I totally support older people being friends.
Yeah, before we go, the one thing I just thought of is it's kind of like a bell curve where when you're younger, you're kind of less judgmental. Like you make friends with anybody.
Yeah.
So whoever is cool, you hang out with them. You have something.
Not my friends. My friends super judgy. Whatever age you are, you'd be 12, be like the most judgmental kid ever.
Yeah, but once you get into your 20s and 30s, then you kind of become more judgmental because you're trying to establish yourself and your career.
Yeah.
But so you see somebody, maybe they're not as successful as you. Oh, I don't know. I mean, not me personally, but it's just like in general, people are kind of like that where they're more cliquish. They want to be with people of similar ilk to them. It reaches the top, maybe mid 30s when you're at the peak of your career. Yeah. But I've noticed now that the older I get, the people become less and less judgmental. So they're more open to hanging out with different types of people because they realize, life is too short to be, picky and just, want to associate with only certain groups. So they're open to more people. So it's kind of funny how that works.
It's something really extreme, like you don't have much time to live.
Yeah, get it. I've noticed that, especially even in dating and just regular friendships, where the women and guys, of course, are less judgmental. They're open to meeting different types of people, even if someone who's not successful. They just want to meet people who are interesting. They have something in common.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
No. Made for you, not for stats, especially with Asian women. I think for a lot of women, especially Asian women, they want a man that can, financially provide for them very, very well. I know because it's definitely a situation. I have a lot of Asian guy friends where they work good jobs.
Yeah.
But
still not good enough.
It's just no. They're like, nope, you're not in the part where you can afford all this Louis Vuitton bags right now. And not all Asian women are like this.
You mean a Coach bag's not good enough?
Yeah, fuck Coach. It's all about Aldi. So again, no judgment, and also just want to say not all Asian women are like this, but I think that a lot of Asian men complain about how you have to be not just financially sustainable, but you also have to be you have to be someone who has okay finances.
Yeah.
You have to have really good finances. So that's a hard part. I also think that for us gay men, Asian gay men, your fucking dating profiles are the worst sometimes. It's literally like a resume as opposed to a dating profile.
Yeah, resume.
Yeah, you're I graduated from Harvard. Da, da, da. I'm like, not all you graduate from Harvard. Is Harvard only Asian kids nowadays? What's going on now?
That gets you in the door.
I definitely think that I think that we overdo it sometimes as Asian people to impress our parents, and we don't really date to impress our parents. I'm like, are you dating for you or your parents? I feel like that's the problem with Asian people a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the standard's so high, not just for ourselves, but also for the people around. So we have to learn how to, like, again, date for ourselves, develop relationships for ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, I think for me, I used to think about that myself mentally, like maybe I'm not good enough, and you know,
You're good enough, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because that's what kind of held me back, thinking, oh man, I'm not good enough for her, or maybe I'm not smart enough to hang out with this group. But you know what? One day I just snapped out of it, said I am good enough. So even if I'm not, who cares, right? Just work it. Just go out there. If I want to hang out with them, then I'll just go for it regardless. If they shoot me down, then screw them. I don't need them, right? So then that's the mentality to have. I think maybe that's what I mean. When you get older, you just don't care anymore. Like, forget it. I don't have time to waste for this pettiness that, you know, if they don't like me, who cares? I don't care. I'll just move on and, you know, go on to the next group who actually does care for me, or next person. Yeah. So anyways, yes, we went a little overboard here, but thanks so much for joining us. Asian Spirit Love Podcast. Catch you on the next one.
All right,
remember to smash the like and subscribe.
Comment. Let us know how you feel.
Yes, always.
Yes. Don't gaslight people. Bye.
All right, bye.